Hi Capricorn, welcome to your September 2016 love reading. Okay. Well, that's pretty interesting. So the overall energy is the Ace of Wands. And this is new beginnings. This can directly just talk about a new passionate love affair, or I don't want to make it just like it's some fling, but it's something that you're very enthusiastic about. It's not just heavy on the emotions or practical. It's just something where you're feeling very excited to be a part of something. And sometimes this could relate to business affairs, starting a new business. But it could be actually a fire sign or somebody who has a fiery temperament, someone who is an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, and you have started this new relationship. In the recent past, we have the Five of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles. So you may have kind of been, for some people, it might mean that there was an earth sign before this relationship. So since you're an earth sign, it could be another Capricorn, or it could be a Virgo, or possibly a Taurus person, or somebody with that signature energy. And that, the fire sign individual may have somehow really fought for your attention, somehow tried to make you notice them and won you over, I guess is the way to look at it. But we could also say that it's possible that you have been kind of waiting and seeing about this fire sign individual. Maybe you're not quite sure if it's the right person for you. And, I try to be very open-minded these days about this sort of thing. But when a fire sign and an earth sign person get together, there is a lot of accommodation that has to be done, unless you have a lot of fire and or they have a lot of earth, because those two elements are quite different, and what they require and what they enjoy is very different. The earth sign person is much more introverted, is much more concerned with their own private, personal universe. And the fire person tends to be more interested in the world at large. And so when these two elements get together, the earth person is usually trying to tether, keep the fire sign person on a leash, because they tend to want to go off and explore. And also the earth sign person may end up being almost parental, and the fire sign is like the overgrown kid. It's one of those things. And then the fire sign person thinks that the earth sign person is like their parent and is a stick in the mud. So there's these kinds of, I was going to say miscommunications, but it's actually misunderstanding of the other person's basic temperament that can doom the relationship unless they have balanced elements in their overall chart, and if they just are conscious of it and can work around it. Because it's just like, you know, when you get two totally different types of people together, they can get along, but they have to make, you know, a lot of allowances for the other person. And so what I get for either the present time or the immediate future is the Four of Pentacles and the Star card. So some of you may have really, you know, had a recent situation that was difficult, and you've kind of come through that. And the Star card really renews your sense of faith in life. You know, if you felt like everything was against you, or that you would never find another person to love, that may be something that has changed within you. The Four of Pentacles is all about laying down roots. And of course, because it's Pentacles, it's dealing with the practical side of life. It's dealing with earth issues. And so it does deal with earth signs. So, you know, it's funny when I said that the Ace of Wands could be a new relationship with a fire sign, it just might signal a new affair, new love, and it is with an earth sign. And this card also deals with financial kind of, I was going to say financial security, but also you managing your money very well. And in a love context, it could be that you are feeling like, you know, perhaps this person is someone for the long haul. Because the number 4 relates to firm foundations, you know, structure is really what I meant to say. And actually in the astrological wheel, the 4th house is the house of home and family. So it all goes along with that. But somehow you have realized a dream, maybe something you've been wishing for related to a relationship has finally come true, or will do so in the future. The reason I say with the Ace of Wands is that it's a whole new cycle. It's a beginning. And it's something that you really feel is promising. You know, that's why you have a certain enthusiasm for whatever it is that's going on. Now, the higher message is the Page of Cups. And so the message from Spirit is that perhaps you know, tapped into the spiritual dimension, which, you know, I connect with also the Star card. And this, you know, led you to this person. It could be that you are thinking of a child, and a child, the welfare of a child is very important. You know, I'm assuming it would be your child. But it could be also that you became like the Page of Cups in the sense that you let go of any resentment and stuff, and you're almost like pure at heart, pure of heart, and what, you know, are able to receive love. You know, cups relate to the emotional life, including love, and the page relates to children, but it can relate to a state of innocence. And so it's almost like this innocence restored within you, so that you're not bitter, you're not jaded about life, but you are open to give and receive love. And, you know, Capricorns are people that I think, you know, other people do not see as particularly sensitive individuals sometimes, unless, of course, you have a lot of water in your chart or something like that. And yet, you are sensitive in your own way. But because you're an earth sign, you tend to express things in a very practical way, and you tend not to get too overboard about anything on the emotional level. And I think that if people got to know you better, certain people, they would appreciate that, because they would see how you are able to, in times of great testing, maintain an even keel. And whereas some people might just kind of go off the rails and make things worse, you're like kind of a steady influence. And sometimes that type of, you know, emotional nature is not appreciated by others, because they want the hearts and the flowers and the romantic gestures like that. And sometimes having that steady hand, the practical person, is better, you know. Yeah, poetry is wonderful. I've written plenty of poems in my day, but I think also being there for other people and being a rock, and I think Capricorns can be rocks, is, you know, admirable too. What crosses you is the Magician in reverse. Now, this is kind of interesting, I think, because, well, I'm sorry, I read it as a reversed Magician. I didn't pull it in the reverse position, but it's a challenge card. Now, I would say that what that means, and this is something that is particular to Capricorn, is to watch any pessimistic part of yourself. The Magician card is all about conscious co-creation, which means knowing that you have the ability to make things happen for yourself, and that, you know, by taking right action and conscious action, you can make things come to you. And, you know, it's kind of like a positive state of mind as well. But Capricorn sometimes gets into these periods where they see things as the glass half empty. Now, of course, not all Capricorns are going to be like this. But if you know that you have a tendency to sometimes get into these pessimistic periods, watch for that. Watch your words. Watch, you know, what you say about life. Watch, you know, how you think about things. Try to, if you, you know, think about a thought in a certain way, if you have an idea, a negative thought about a particular situation, try to counter that with an alternative look at it. And it doesn't mean that you're just this Pollyanna who can never deal with anything negative. And I don't believe in that either. Some people are afraid of anything that isn't totally sparkly and you know, unicorn-esque. And that's not what I'm talking about. But it's, you know, seeing how your mind, you know, wanders into those places. And sometimes it can be, let me see if I can show that card, when you know, you're having your dreams come true. Maybe that's the time when you start to get the most pessimistic in a way. Sometimes people get freaked out when good things happen because they have such an expectation for the opposite. And, you know, your ruler is Saturn. So Saturn tends to be a wet blanket sometimes. But it's dampening enthusiasm only because it wants to keep people grounded in reality. And so that is the challenge for a lot of Capricorns, to be realistic without being too pessimistic. And so even if things are going your way, which it looks like is happening here, you have to guard against what they call stinking thinking, you know. And I think you will be able to do that, because I think that especially as Capricorns get older, they tend to loosen up a lot. What works in your favor is represented by the Two of Cups. Now, this can simply mean if you have a relationship that maybe you left, or that and maybe you didn't leave on good terms, to practice forgiveness if the other person really screwed you over, even, is to try to find a place in your heart to not get into a resentful pattern about that person. But this can also mean that you will want to commit to a relationship. So if you recently started a relationship and you've been kind of waiting around to see what's happening, this may suggest that to look at the relationship in terms of the long term, as represented by this, because this does have that sort of stamp of approval of you getting closer to this person and making a commitment. Maybe not exactly at this moment, but at some time in the future. And this could even be like a soulmate situation. Not only is this a 2 that represents the couple, but with the Cups card, it's talking about the emotional bond. So that certainly is, I mean, these are wonderful cards. The Two of Cups, the Star card, yeah. For a love reading, it's awesome. The advice, this is a card that I think goes along with that Two of Cups, the Four of Wands. This is about a happy home. This could be saying, yeah, get married. Maybe you've been in this relationship. Maybe when I said Ace of Wands, maybe I'm, you know, behind you. Maybe this has happened 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago. And this is all about setting up a happy home and maybe getting married, making a commitment. Four, structure, you know, foundation. The Wands, the happy, you see there's a roses there. This is a happy home. And the person is trying to make a beautiful nest with their home. And so it's very domestic, and it's very cozy. Now the outcome is the Six of Swords. So, you know, sometimes when I see this, it's about leaving a current situation that's very stressful and going to a peaceful situation. This may mean just that by doing all of this, by, you know, getting together with that person, and it's a new person, you are bridging that, you know, those two lands. Maybe you were coming from a very stressful environment, a very contentious situation, and you're going to something that is full of harmony, full of peace. The number 6 does connect to, it can connect to home and family in numerology. Astrology is connected to numerology too, but the fourth house in astrology is connected to home and family, while the number 6 does relate to home and family as well. And so you may be, you know, choosing domestic bliss over whatever it was that you're leaving behind. So I do feel like some of you are, finding that person that's right for you. And I feel kind of like strange right now, because usually I'm saying, okay, this is what you need to do. But I feel like for Capricorn, I'm just telling you all the great things that are happening to you. And hopefully they either are happening or will happen in the near future. This reading is intended for the month of September. So it is possible that, since I'm doing this in mid-August, that it's something that is up and coming for you. Now, obviously, this is a general reading, but at least some of the cards, I hope, resonated with you. If you would like a private reading using your natal chart, please click on the link below. And otherwise, have a great September, Capricorn. Bye.